Good morning, afternoon, or evening. This is Cristian Camilo Diaz, and this is my final presentation. The article that I decided to choose is named The Effects of Facebook and WhatsApp on Success in English Vocabulary Instruction. This is a Turkish article and was created by Levin Sentiyaka and Selin Soner-Sutku. Okay, so introduction. We're in a world in which evolution and technology play a pretty important role. But when we think about evolution, we just believe that technology is the one in charge of. But evolution is also something that is in every matter. So why not in academic things? The authors found that what Facebook and WhatsApp are two of the most influential social media for youth, and so they wanted to apply this or study this and see how this affected education. So they see that social media plays an important role in education too, and they also think that social media is a pretty entertaining place. And we have motivation in here, as I mentioned, entertaining, social interaction, and are things that are needed in education. When we think about education, we just believe that it's boring and that lacks of attractiveness. So in social media, we see like this perfect world, and this is what youth like. So they wanted to put social media and academic things together. Okay, the problem statement. As I previously mentioned, the lack of innovation in education is affecting these young learners. We know that today we have this, when the brain releases serotonin in social media, you get bored easier. So this is a thing that they found. Our author is Mercy 2015. And what they found is that right now people need things faster, to be faster. So academic things are becoming more like boring for youth, and they need like a boost of technology in this to make it like more attractive for students. Another problem they found is that the vocabulary isn't taken that much into consideration in classrooms. I mean, we have the main skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing, but vocabulary is like in a second category. So they want to prioritize vocabulary. Okay, the rationale. Why they want to prioritize vocabulary? The thing here is that we depend on vocabulary for the other skills. We can't have listening, speaking, reading, or writing without vocabulary. When you have a wide range of words in your mind, you're able to express yourself better and be understood, and also understand others. So this is what we need. We need to make vocabulary teaching and learning processes more attractive for our learners. And sometimes teaching vocabulary might be boring because we only have dictionaries and books, and it is needed of a teacher to learn vocabulary. Now we can do it through social media. But how? This can be made by listening to others, listening to music, reading books, and we have all these things just in our screen, so it's great. Okay, the research question is next. Is there a significant difference between the course of students in traditional learning environment, and when it is supported by technology depending on social network services like Facebook and WhatsApp use. So what they want to find is if the traditional way we get better scores or in the innovative way. So they want to see the impact of this in the scores of students. But how? Okay. For the research objective, they aim to determine the effects of Facebook and WhatsApp on success in English vocabulary instruction and the learner's opinions about the implementation process. They are not only going to observe the students, but they are also going to take into account the students' opinions regarding this topic and the implementation they want to plan. So it's great. Okay, next. The literature review. And they have plenty of authors in their literature review, but the ones that caught my attention the most are Nation 1995, which they emphasized on the importance of learning vocabulary and in foreign language learning by setting an enriched vocabulary repertoire. Okay. And as I previously mentioned, vocabulary isn't a thing in EFL teaching and learning processes. So they emphasize in the importance of learning it. Okay. Second one is Gonzalez and Borica, 2010, and says that social networks have become an integral part of everyday life. So it is needed to examine academically their potential to influence teaching and learning process. Okay, so as they say, we have social media for everything. Since we wake up, we are with our phones, and when we're going to sleep, we're with our phones. So it's a full-time thing that we are now used to do. So why not do it academically? And the last one is Fos and Gonzalez, 2017, and they suggest that social network services should be studied on different variables. We only see social media as entertainment, but we know that they were created with the aim of communicating, but now we have everything in just our phones. So the variables they studied were communication, motivation, social interaction, academic success, and their purpose in education, how they could affect education. These were the authors they were inspired by. Okay, next, methodology. They used a mixed method model. In the quantitative part, they use a quasi-experimental study. This basically is just all about statistics, figures, and exact results. How the figures of vocabulary learning are increasing or decreasing depending on their study. And for the qualitative, we have a case study. We all know that the case study studies a phenomenon, a group, or anything, and this is very common to see in medicine and technology, and in this case education. So it's perfect to study. And the application procedure, basically what they did is that they applied this in 3 months. They chat every day. I mean, they had a Facebook group to post homeworks and to watch videos to learn vocabulary, and yeah, all academic things were in Facebook. But via WhatsApp, what they did is to chat every day and all the time. So the students aren't going to feel like pressure because of the academic things in the WhatsApp group. They are free to chat about different topics. It isn't needed of academic things in here. And also the teachers are part of these groups, so they can see if the students are engaged or not. And they also have a space of 2 classes per week. So as they learn the vocabulary through videos, chatting, but in this unconscious way, they also needed to perfectionate their vocabulary in classes. So they had to attend school twice a week, and there the teachers could have like an observation process with the students and see if the chat isn't or isn't working. Okay, for the data collection techniques or procedures, they use supervision, questionnaires, and interviews. Supervision was via WhatsApp and Facebook, and also in classes, as I mentioned. And the questionnaires and interviews are going to help them to see the students' points of view, to see what they think, or why they think about this application thing and all this process. So it is a pretty integral study, because they are not only seeing one perspective but also the students' one, which is very important, and also the mathematic part that is like giving us exact results and no one can change it. Okay, the population, it is 123 ninth graders from different classes. I mean, they didn't even know each other, so it was great. And the age was from 14 to 15 years old. This was in a Turkish state school, and okay, what they found. For the findings, they found as I said, they found that students lost like this funny part of chatting every day via the WhatsApp group. At the beginning, it was pretty successful. I mean, the students all the time were in their phones, communicating to each other, things, sharing videos, images, memes, everything. But after they start seeing this as an academic thing, they silenced the group. They didn't even read the messages. So it was becoming a problem, which is like a negative result of this study. For the positive part, with the quasi-experimental thing, they found that, they did a test at the beginning of the study to see how much vocabulary they knew, and they did another test at the end of the research study to see if the figures will increase or decrease. So in this case, the students gained a lot more vocabulary. They went to have a wider range, because the tests were created with that purpose of seeing how many words they could learn, before and after. And the recommendations. Okay, so in this part they took the students' opinions, and it is that sometimes the students felt like the social media was great, but they didn't want it to stay in there. So what they recommend it is to of course make them chat a lot, but not for 3 months. This isn't that healthy. And they recommend also to apply more surveys about technological use and responsible usage of technology, and also they recommend schools and teachers and the community education community to take more part in the vocabulary thing in EFL, right? That's one thing, because after they studied this, they found that the vocabulary made is their level, in the EFL level, more advanced. They were more efficient and they felt better with their English. They could express themselves better, which is great. So that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching.